everybody, it's Connie with SimplySimpleStamping.com. I am so excited to share with you today's project, guys. This is so cute. First of all, I love shaker cards. What's not to love about a shaker card? But what I love about this one, can you see? It's actually just a little piece of art, a little easel. Very simple to make, and we're going to be using one of my new favorite products, the Layering Square Framelit. So let's get started with our project. One of the big products we're going to be using on the Endless Birthday Easel card are the brand new Layering Square Framelits. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. My first thought when I saw square framelits were like, duh, I can cut a square. And you know what I found? I really do have a hard time cutting a perfect square. And if just cutting squares weren't enough, let me tell you, with these layering framelits, it's really amazing being able to layer things really nice and tight, making sure they're perfect every single time. And of course, what's not to love about scallops? So that is one of the things we're going to be using. I do want to make one point right up front. The measurements I'm going to be giving you when we talk about the framelits, we are actually talking about the outside measurement of the framelit, not the inside or not the cut. So when you hear me say things like we're going to be using the 3 1/4 inch square scallop, remember we're talking about the outside edge. So just wanted to make that clear. Let's go ahead and get started. Trust me when I say the magnetic platform is going to be your best friend as you work on this project because of how we're going to be layering things. So let's bring in our first piece of cardstock. This is pink Pirouette. Of course, you use whatever color makes you happy. And my cardstock is cut 3 1/2 by 3 1/2. And then I'm going to be using the 3 1/4 inch square scallop framelit. There's a mouthful. So we're going to lay that square framelit on there. Of course, as we always have to do, we have to top it with a cutting plate. We're going to run that through the Big Shot. Perfect. Let's set that off to the side. We're going to come in with our next piece of cardstock, and that is basic black. That is cut 3 1/2 by 3 1/2. We'll be using square framelits here. I have got the 3 inch square framelit. We're going to put that one right there. Again, you can see why the magnetic's going to be so great because we're going to take the 2 3/8 inch square framelit and we're going to put that one right in the middle. And that way when we cut, we're going to get a little image like this. So you want to make sure you get that perfectly centered so that we get a really nice mat. We're going to take our top cutting plate, run that through the Big Shot as well. Our next cut is going to be with a piece of Pool Party that is 3 inches by 3 inches. I'm going to be coming now in with a scallop square. This is the 2 3/4 inch scallop square framelit. And then I've got a straight edge square. This is the 2 3/8. We just used it on that black piece a second ago, so don't put that one away. Do you notice how it nests perfectly inside? Isn't that great? This is how we're going to get an absolute perfect frame when we run that through the Big Shot. One more square cut. I have got a piece of Whisper White that is 3 by 3. I'm going to come in with the 2 5/8 inch square. This is a straight one, not a scallop. We're going to run that through the Big Shot. There we go. Those are all our layering pieces. Now, I do want to come in with this basic black, and I'm going to do one quick little thing to it. The edges were a little harsh, so I'm going to come in with our Project Life corner rounder, and I'm just going to give those corners a nice punch. Just a tip with this punch, really make sure you've got both ends in there nicely. So now we have a nice border, and see how it's not as harsh when it sits. It's going to be sitting on that pink. We're not going to adhere anything down just yet because we've got all kinds of stuff we're going to do. But I do want to take my Pool Party frame and adhere that onto the black mat. I find the best way to do that is going to be with a fine tip glue pen. So you're just simply going to unscrew the tip right here. We're going to lay our glue here all along the edges, and when it's done, it's going to look like that. All right, you know what? We have one more thing we need to bring in, and that is a little bit of window sheet. Now that window sheet I have cut to 2 1/2 by 2 1/2. And we are now going to come in with some glue dots. We're going to attach this to the back of our black frame. I find the best way to do this is to just press the window sheet to a glue dot. Give it a really good press and lift. And I want you to notice I'm staying as close to that corner and that outer edge as I can because I don't want it to spill over into the actual frame. So let's get that some glue dots here on all 4 corners. And my Stampin' friends, it is as simple as laying that down. Let's give those a nice press. So the front of our frame is done. Now let's work on the stamped image to go inside. My stamp set today is Endless Birthday Wishes, one of my favorites because I'm absolutely crazy about the font. So let's go ahead and begin stamping our birthday cake. I'll be using a basic black archival ink pad. And so I've got my birthday cake here. Now, before we start stamping, let me just bring this in so you can see that we are going to lose a little bit of the edges. So I want you to be very careful when you're thinking, we'll just be losing just a little edge here. So I'm going to actually stamp the birthday cake off to the right-hand side. Again, making sure I'm leaving myself plenty of room, knowing that this little edge will be cut off. While I've got that basic black ink out, let me come in with the word happy, and we're going to do that just at a little bit of an angle right there. And for the word birthday, we have just a little nice thin font. Let me come in with a pool party ink pad, and we can just stamp the word birthday right there. We're going to do a little bit to the background as well. We can just add some fun dots here just to kind of give it some fun and some texture and just a little bit of bright. I'm going to be using the Subtles markers, and out of that collection, the Pool Party, So Saffron, and Pink Pirouette. Let's decorate up our cake. And then I'm just going to add a little bright here to the candles just to give them a little color. So very simple to do with the Stampin' Write markers. And now we're going to start putting together our actual shaker card. Now Stampin' Up! Has some amazing adhesive strips that are going to kind of resemble this, but I didn't have any. I don't have those ordered yet, but you know what? The outside edges of your Stampin' Dimensionals, these little, I like to call them the dimensional bones, they're gonna work awesome for this. So we're going to take these, and the first thing we want to do is we want to use the flat edge, and we're going to just simply cut it and line it up. I'm going to really want to try to follow the actual measurement of the window sheet. So I'm simply just going to lay it down as just a measurement. It's not rocket science. I mean, we don't have to get things perfect here. The only thing I will warn you of, we want to make sure none of that window or none of the adhesive strips are showing in the window. So now that we have that one done, let's go ahead and add one to the other side. Now that we have those down, I'm simply going to take another one and just kind of give myself a little mark here so that I know where I need to cut that. This will be the same if you're using the adhesive strips, whether you're using those or whether you're using dimensional bones, it all works. But do you see how that fits right in there? One thing I can tell you about shaker cards, all your corners need to be sealed, or else whatever you put in it's going to go shooting out the other end, and we don't want that. So let's add our final one. There we have it. Now I haven't taken off the backing yet, but let me just kind of show you. That's going to let me kind of see what I'm going to be seeing through the window. But we have to add some really great, something to shake, right? If we don't put anything worth shaking, then it's just a shadow box, right? I'm going to take some of our bright sequins. Trust me when I say you don't want too many. Too many tends to overpower. So I'm just going to add that. I'm going to bring that kind of to the center for a minute as I work. And what we're going to be doing now is we're going to start peeling off these backings. That's the reason we want those to the inside, because we don't want any of those sequins starting to stick. So we're going to take our backing pieces off. Now we can take our stamped focal image, and we are going to just place that right there in the center, and voila, there we go. We have a really great shaker going on. All right, we're now going to take this, we're going to be attaching it to our pink Pirouette. Yes, we have some sticky going on there. That's wonderful, but we're going to use a little bit more. I'm partial to fast fuse, so we're just going to bring some fast fuse towards the inside of our pink Pirouette square. Now let's go ahead and add our happy birthday. We'll give that a nice press, and there we go. Now, that's really great. And actually, we could stick that on a card right now and it would be adorable. But how about we make a little stand? I've got a piece of pink Pirouette cardstock that was 1 inch by 10 inches. I'm going to have you cut it down to 7 3/4 inch, but save this piece, we're going to be using it. Now this piece here, I did a little scoring on. If you will score it at 2.5 inches, 3.5 inches, 4.5 inches and 7 inches. That's what's going to create our easel. And to do that, we're simply just going to fold on the score lines, and you can see we're working for this shape right here. We're going to put some fast views here on this end, and we're simply just going to bring that around like so. So that's what your little stand's going to look like. And guys, now we can simply add some fast views to the back. Make sure we know which end is up. So here is the bottom. We can just center that up. We're going to give that a good press, and there we go. Now, I thought it needed just one more little thing. Let's take that little piece of pink Pirouette that we had left over, and I'm going to come in with the Blossom Bunch punch. I actually want to punch out 2 of these small flowers here. To give them a little dimension, I'm going to put them here on a stamping pierce mat, and then I'm just going to give them a press. I'm using a stylus tool, but just about anything will work, but that's going to give us some nice dimension. And now we're going to come back in with those mini glue dots that we used earlier, and let's adhere these flowers together. When you adhere them together, just kind of make them a little ski-wampus so we get a nice full flower. We're going to put one more dimensional here on the back, and we're just going to add that to the corner of our shaker frame. Now, I thought that flower was just too naked. It was just too naked. So I'm going to come in with one of our jewel-backed rhinestones, the nice adhesive back. Let's center that up. Give that just a little more bling, because, you know, everything needs some bling. And guys, there we have it. It is truly a happy, happy. So much fun with those little sequins in there. I love the shakers. They are so much fun. And of course, you can use dimensional bones, or you can always use the new adhesive strips. Either way, they sure do go together easy. Now, if you'd like to find out all the products that I used, or one of the big ones, if you want to figure out all those measurements I gave you and know which framelits to use, you can see it there in the YouTube description, or pop on over to simplysimplestamping.com. Look for the June 29th, 2016 blog post. You're going to see pictures with all the products that I use, and then again, a complete list of what framelits to use, what size cardstock to cut. I just want to make it easy on you. So be sure to check that out at simplysimplestamping.com. Guys, that's it for me today. Have a fabulous day, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.